Welcome into another edition of Popcorn and Root Beer. My name is Steve, and today I am joined by my two favorite betting analysts in the world, Seth Woolcock and Trash Sandwiches, and we are bringing you maybe the biggest betting episode we've ever done because these are the biggest movies we have ever done. We are talking Spider-Man Brand New Day, Dune Part 3, The Odyssey, and Avengers Doomsday. Two of those come out on the same day. That would be Avengers Doomsday and Dune Part 3, lovingly called Doomsday, December 18th. That is going to be a rip-roaring day for the movie theaters, and I am so happy to see it happening. My friends, how are you?
I am ready to go. I'll tell you what, like Barbenheimer, take a back seat, baby. We got Doomsday. Steve, will you be in the theater for the entire day? Are you gonna double up, you think?
I'm gonna double feature that day, probably. Yeah.
Trash, I know you're not like movie theaters are far away from you out in rural Vermont, but would you ever be able to do back-to-back movies? Is that something you could get into?
Maybe, to be honest, like with my dog, I might just be like a little bit of a no-go with that. But as far as like if I'm gonna do it, the vibes on this are way better than the vibes on Barbenheimer. Barbenheimer is like it had the fun and the novelty of it, if you will. But as far as like movies that you'd actually want to do a double feature of, I think this is, infinitely better.
It's two epics, right? Like you have like Barbenheimer was funny because it was like the juxtaposition of Barbie with we've invented the atomic bomb. Like that's like kind of like a weird like juxtaposition. But y'all,
the world in different ways.
Yes, but y'all aren't here to hear us talk about Barbenheimer because we're looking to the future and we're laying some money down to do it. So we're starting with Spider-Man Brand New Day. Let me tell you, all of these movies we're about to talk about have dummy high Rotten Tomatoes projections right now. I mean, these things are they're just popping off, and Spider-Man Brand New Day is no exception at 90%, the over-under on Kalshi. If you say yes, it will go over 90%. You're going off at minus 137. Saying no gets you a minus 104, so just about your money back. Trash, are you a fan of the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man? Or are you kind of out on his movie?
I am a fan. I'm definitely over 85. Over 90 is rich, but like I'm hype about this one. I am. I think it feels like more of a homecoming, even though obviously that's not the name of this one in the franchise. But it feels like that homecoming of like watching the trailer and just seeing like the potential of them getting, reuniting Peter Parker with MJ and like I need it. I need it back. The timeline has been fractured in the MCU, and I just need this little part of me to be healed with it.
I think this movie is going to do some incredible things, and I think more than anything, I expect it to set up Doomsday in a very amazing way. Probably in a post-credit scene, but I think it's going to do that. I will say, if this doesn't hit, it will be the first of the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies to not go over 90. Seth, you knew that. You had that in your back pocket?
Yes.
Do you think this will be the ugly stepchild of the bunch, or are we rolling? This is the Brady Bunch, baby, and everyone's a winner.
Yeah, so let me preface this by saying I think this plot is going to be divisive. This feels a bit like the Spider-Man 2 plot, where back with Toby, where hey, we're getting a little emo kind of. I guess that was 3. Yeah, getting a little emo emotion.
I was gonna say, don't be mean to Spider-Man 2. That's the best one out of all.
Yeah, that's a good point. Things got a little hazy there in 3, so I guess there's a reason I at times have tried to forget that movie, but I think it's going to be like depressing and sad. I think at times, like. You're right, Trash, that like there is going to be this reunion and homecoming feeling, but at the same time, I as an audience member, and maybe it's just a me thing, and as a critic and a bettor, I get frustrated. I'm like, I just want them to know and have all their old memories back. You know what I mean? Like, and I know that's probably what we're going to get at some point in this movie, but you shouted it out, Steve, though, like Spider-Man No Way Home, 2021, 93%. You go back to Spider-Man Homecoming, 2017, 92%. Spider-Man Far From Home, which I thought was probably the worst one of those ones, 91%. Yeah. So, and then you look at what like Marvel's been doing lately, right? Like their 2025 releases, 86% for Fantastic Four, which I wasn't super into. Thunderbolts, 88%, which I thought was a monster. And then also you had Captain America Brave New World, which I thought was fine, 46%. So we've kind of been under this for a lot of it. I still think though at 90, I think you're getting a nice number for it not to be the outlier. At minus 137, I don't think we're going to see that number for very long.
I don't think so either. I think this is going to actually start moving. I do you think it's going to go up or down? Do you think they're going to drop into the 80s on this for a while?
I think they're going to keep it at 90, but I think you're going to be paying minus 200 before too long, honestly.
I do too. I think the closer we get to this, the less you're going to be able to get out of it. Like, and you're going to have to start opting up to like 91, 92, 93. And it's going to just, it just is going to become way too hard to land this. All right. Let's put our money where our mouth is. We got to take one. Over, under, 90. Seth.
I'm over. I'm over for a unit. You are going to get a 3%. Again, we're going to have to be invested for a little while in this, right? But the good thing about Kalshi is you get a 3% interest credit for any bet that you're going to hit. So I'll put a half a unit, or maybe like 0.75 of a unit. So I'm going to go on the over on this one, Steve.
Trash.
I do a unit on the over. Definitely on the over. I think like I'm comfortable with a unit on 90. I think the record shows Spider-Man can do it. Tom Holland, Spider-Man can do it.
Minus 137 is that's
it's a little juicy.
I don't like
pay the juice if you lose. What are you gonna do?
Know,
you're gonna alt that up to 95? Because I don't know if you're gonna get anything good on that one, honestly.
I think I'm gonna take the over here, but I'm not feeling great about it. But this movie, it looks dark. I think we're going to see a different Spider-Man. It looks like he's being kind of taken over, and we're seeing the Hulk come in. It feels very like, I think Marvel's on the right track.
I will just say, too, that this is moving right now. Looks like a sizable wager just came in before we started recording. Minus 126. You're paying a little bit less juice. If you want to go up to above 95, you are getting more than 2-1 your money plus 239. So a little bit of, but I think 95 is a fool's errand. I would not do that.
I would never bet that.
I think if you're going to bet it, we bet it soon, right? And I think that's another squad rider we got here.
I'll probably put it in like the second we're done.
Yeah, I'll put it in tonight.
Because I love when people go heavy on the side that I'm not on. You love that, right? As a bettor, because now they've gassed up the no, right? That minus 104 has just gotten significantly worse, but the minus 137 has gotten significantly better. So thank you to whoever did that. Let's talk about a man who like never misses though. Christopher Nolan. The Odyssey, just an absolute amazing undertaking. But let me tell you, can I say this before? Because I want to bring the people the right information here. That the new trailer dropped, and there was a lot of negative reaction because everyone has American accents in this movie.
Yeah, but what are you gonna do? Make him speak ancient Greek?
So here's the thing, right? Here's what people expect is that they expect them to be British, right? Because historically, when a movie wants to seem historical, everyone's British, right? The other issue is that Matt Damon's out there kind of Bostoning it up. They kind of just let Matt Damon rip, and Matt Damon's a Boston guy, and so he's kind of got that, I gotta go find my wife and my kid, and it's a little rough, right? So it starts to feel a little amateur hour because it doesn't feel like they're actors anymore, right? It feels like they're cosplaying. And there was already issues with some of the costuming and things like that. I say this because it only takes 1 out of 10 to put this on the line to not like it, right? That's what we're talking about. When it's 90%, 1 out of 10 has to say no. Trash, are you still in on 90%?
Oof. Yes, I think as long as it's hard if they've already cut the post-production, but they can do audio. They can recut some audio if they need to pretty easily and tone down the Southie accent. Because if that's really the worst of it, the American accent itself, I'm fuck that. That's a stupid take. Because again, we're not speaking ancient Greek. Why do we need to have British accents? He can't sound like he's from, the South Bay.
Right.
He needs to.
We don't need Steve in the Odyssey.
Yeah, and let me tell you, dude. My accent is nothing compared to those people from Southie.
You don't have an accent.
Yeah, it's thick. It's thick. I had to learn, like, I learned to hide it pretty well. It slips out on occasion, but like when you're in Southie, dude, like it's wild. Like it makes me have an accent again because it's so strong.
Yeah. So I think, I don't know. I think I'm still over 90, but I'm not gonna put a lot of money on it.
So above 90 is minus 209.
Yeah.
Under 90 plus 165. And guess where my money is landing? Under 90.
Oh.
Under 90. I'm going, I think this is gonna go under. You know what? When I saw the first teaser, right? It was this big open ocean scene and nothing really happened. It was just Matt Damon floating on like a raft, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, this has something to it. I don't think it's gonna be bad, right? I don't think this is gonna be like a 65, 60, 58 kind of deal. I think it's going to be an 83, 84, 85, maybe 87. I don't think it's going to get to 90. I think they may have shot themselves in the foot here by not just committing to the British accent, committing to actors who feel a little. I don't think Matt Damon's the guy for this. Frankly,
I don't think he was.
I don't know if Matt Damon is Odysseus, right? This is the story. This is the story that spawned the hero's journey, right? This is the original hero's journey. And no one's really made a movie about it in at least 50 years, right? That like has hit theaters and been a big deal. Nolan takes it on and casts Matt Damon. And I'm like, I think you missed, man. I think you missed. And I don't know who I would have preferred, right? That's the issue is I'm like, who should have been Odysseus, right? Because you kind of have to be in that realm of age. So I'm like, is it Jackman? Is it Downey? Is it, like, who is it? Who would have been better? Because I just don't think it's Damon, right? That's just where I'm at. Seth, am I way off in like La La Land, or are you kind of like, yeah, I get it?
Did Steve freeze for you?
Yeah.
Okay, Steve, just set up your question again and make a note to cut that.
Okay.
1240-ish is where you'll want to come back in.
All right, coming in 3, 2, 1. Seth, are you with me on like the Damon kind of pulling this thing down, or am I way off in La La Land here? Are you like over 90, under 90, or are you kind of like staying away from this one?
This is a no bet for me, specifically for a few reasons. One, Matt Damon is a wild card out there, right? The other thing that like there was legit a market. I don't think it's bettable on Kalshi now, but there was a market out there. Will the Odyssey be delayed? So there have been a lot of question marks around this movie really since the beginning. And I do worry that now that the public reception was not great to that, that last trailer. My thing is, Steve, which is intriguing, is this cast. I mean, my goodness. So yeah, you got Matt Damon, but you got Elliot Page, you got Zendaya, Tom Holland, Robert Pattinson, Anne Hathaway, John Bernthal, I probably said his name wrong too. Yeah, but that guy has been on a heater too. His and Hers on Netflix, pretty good little flick. I just checked out, a little limited series action, but like it is such a loaded cast. I mean, but then there was like gimmicky stuff. Like if there is a Boston Matt Damon accent, that's weird. Why is Travis Scott in this movie? I don't know about that either. So like,
why is Travis Scott in this movie? And I'm telling you, that's the shit.
Yes, and the other part about this is like for me to make a confident play, I need to have a large sample size of work. And you could say, oh, go back to all Christopher Nolan's work. I can't really because it's not recent. Oppenheimer's the most recent, 93%. But before that, it's all the Justice League.
And not for nothing. Can I say, like, there was no fucking way that Oppenheimer wasn't going to get that. They were telling the story of making the atomic bomb just by nature of the movie, right? Yeah. Unless they were like, ha, 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 look at an atomic bomb. Voila. Like, I mean, there was no way they were going to botch that.
Yeah.
Okay. One could make the same argument for the Odyssey. And that's frankly the argument that I am going to make. It's the Odyssey. How is Nolan, the director who did pull off Oppenheimer, going to botch this one? Even with... there's something in my brain that's like I don't think a Southie accent can work, but I think I don't think it needs the British
accent. I want to clarify that he's not out here
of like, I know. I think
he's not sounding like Mark Wahlberg.
Authentic persona though. and like still pull it off. I think he can do that as a director.
There are a few actors who first off, Travis Scott being in this, I think is going to make people mad just regardless. Critics might just instantly rail against that. There's two actors who I really think, and I'm going to say this, especially off of what we just talked about. This is going to sound insane, but just walk with me on it. Matt Damon, I'm worried about, and Tom Holland, I'm worried about.
Oh, really? Why?
Because
I thought he was great in Uncharted.
Anything other than Spider-Man bombs in Rotten Tomato score when Tom Holland's
Uncharted probably done good.
Awful. It was bad because it was a bad movie. That was a bad movie.
He has the potential to do something. I think he's just made some like questionable choices.
Can I say, all right, I'm going to say this, and I listen, I don't think Tom Holland's the guy that we think he is as an actor.
Oh, I think that's a bad take.
My hot take is I prefer Tom Holland over Timothée Chalamet most days.
I don't think I'm not a huge Chalamet guy, right? And now, and listen, I'm not going to sit here and say they're not good at what they do. Of course they are. They're professional actors. They're better actors than I could ever be. But I think Holland, I've always said he's kind of a one-trick pony. He's a really good crier. Tom Holland is one of the best criers in Hollywood. But you ask him to kind of do anything else other than be Spider-Man and cry, and it gets messy. Seth, am I wrong, or is the research backing me up that our boy Tommy might struggle carrying a movie?
The issue is there's not a big enough sample size there either, right? Because you have Uncharted and you don't have much else since he's had this rise to fame. The other thing is,
bad.
If you take out all the DC, all the Batman stuff, like Nolan doesn't have that great of a track record with critics either. Interstellar, which I would argue top 5 movie of all time, top Christopher Nolan movie, 73% Interstellar. Like that's kind of what we're going up against.
It's gotten a weird following, like especially since then. It feels like it should have gotten more than that. Feels more like an outlier score then.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know.
If you're wondering how our full thoughts on Interstellar, go watch our top 25 movies of the 2000s.
Anyone want to take a guess on the line for Inception?
Inception must have been
like
82
something,
83,
87. So like, I can't do it. I can't do it. It's just a no bet for me. I don't want to, like, I could see either one of you being right on this. I'm not drinking the juice on a -200 for a movie with this much question marks, but I'm also not going to take the under and try to fade arguably one of the best directors of all time, right? I just can't do that.
Can I say that at this point, the under 85 is calling to me like the great Green Goblin mask.
Oh, yeah.
If 351. If it's going to be under 90. Yeah, if it's going to be under 90. If it's going to be under 90, I don't think it's going to like miss by 1. I think it's going to miss by like 6 or 7. Like I'd consider a sprinkle there, maybe like a quarter unit. Put a unit on the under, quarter unit on the super under.
Ladder it down.
Yeah. And see how we do.
92.3% Kalshi forecast. Again, we don't have a model for this out right now, but just because we want to wait till we get closer so we can get more of a marketing buzz score and some other elements as well, Steve.
Yeah, great clarification. We do not have a model out because it's so far away that there's no good way to look at it, like a full trailer or have a good idea of marketing and things like that. Now, the IP, that's even going to be tough for the Odyssey, where, like, do kids still read the Iliad and the Odyssey in high school?
I would hope so.
I don't think I did. I don't even think I read the Odyssey, if I'm being honest.
That's what I'm talking about. Unless you take, like, ancient lit, I don't know if you still read it.
I don't know if ancient lit's a class. Honestly,
yeah, but it's still that, like, the start of the hero's journey, the epic journey, like it spawned a massive. No, I don't even want to say genre. I think even that's underplaying.
I think it spawned stories. I think it's the story that started stories. Like the Odyssey is from ancient Greece, and it's one of the first stories that ever. I mean, people would, in those days, travel town to town telling this tale to anyone that would listen. So
if they had the Hercules soundtrack in this, like the Disney Hercules soundtrack, I'm in, baby.
That's what you want. You want the Hercules doesn't appear in this story, right?
Obviously, yes, I do. I know, but I just that had some bangers, man. What was the lead song on that? What was it?
Well, the Zero to Hero.
Go the Distance.
Go the distance. Oh man,
Michael
they have a great the I won't say I'm in love is a banger.
Oh yeah.
There's always talk of doing the live action of that. And
I've heard so many things. We
Yeah.
got to get on it before Danny DeVito dies.
Yeah.
Like,
because that
they
is one
gotta
that I
get ahead
would
of
fuck
this.
with a live action of that one. I don't think all of them need it, but that one I think would be
Can
great.
I say this? This might be a hot take. I've said it on the show a million times, I think, at this point. I like the live action Disney movies sometimes more than the originals. Like, significantly more, because I think the music's better. There's just more to it. It's bigger. It's fuller. It just
give me an example.
Aladdin, liked it more. Beauty and the Beast, I liked it more.
It is a little bit of a hot take, and I don't know that I agree with you on any of them, but I will let you have your opinion.
Cinderella, also very good.
I haven't seen the new Cinderella. I couldn't tell you that.
That's not the point of this. Speaking of our guy Timmy, though, we brought him up. We brought Holland up. Dune Part 3.
Oh, man.
90%. Not quite as juiced, though. Minus 149 if you take the over. Plus 105 if you take the under. Both Dunes went over. Denis Villeneuve is directing. I just found out his name is not Denis Villeneuve.
I would have said it like that. So
yeah, Denis Villeneuve. Like, listen, I'll get people's names right. I'll call Matthew Stafford for the rest of time now because that's what he wants to be called. And Jeremy Bernard is Jeremy Bernard and not Jeremy. So
what's my name?
Trash Sandwiches.
Oh. What's her legal name, Steve?
Ariel.
There you go. Let's go. Okay.
Ariel.
That took me a long time. I called you Ariel for the first year I knew you, and I just avoided saying it at any point.
Oh, there's still so many people that do. It's fine. It's not, but it's
like
fine.
if you didn't go by Trash, I'd call you Ari. Like that's just like
I
my
like
favorite.
That. It's got
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay,
all right. Dune Part 3. I don't have a nickname for it. But
it's the second half of Doomsday.
Doomsday, yes, and we're getting to this the other half of Doomsday right after this. But over under 90%, both Dune movies so far have hit this. This is the end of the trilogy, an epic, if you will. It looks like they brought it with this one. It looks great from what they've shown so far. They brought in Robert Pattinson. Zendaya has a big role in this. Chalamet is going to do Chalamet things. I think I'm going to take, this is probably a no. I don't like betting yes on an over 90, right? Like that's my stance essentially. Why take it, especially with juice behind it? Then I'm like asking for this like insane success where realistically it could miss. It's not like both Dunes were 100.
I even have the first Dune going under this number. The first Dune. Maybe you were looking at something different, but I have the first Dune at 83%. So the popcorn-o-meter 90% though.
All right, I might have mixed up my numbers there, so I apologize, and we'll correct that. Well, now we have. So thank you for that. All right, so 83% Dune Part 1. Dune Part 2 comes in with a
92.
92.
Mm-hmm.
Denis he's got it. He's got the backing. Hollywood likes him. They like what he does. He's essentially looking like the next Nolan at this point. Do you think he swings and misses on this one? Not that it's a big miss, right? Like if you don't hit 90 and you get an 83%, you're still certified fresh. Great movie. Well done. Pat yourself on the back. But 90 is a hard one. Trash. Where are you on Dune?
I think I'm doing a no bet on this because I think it does kind of fall in that gray zone of like probably below 90, could surprise me, probably above 85, but also could surprise me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. The Dune, I haven't seen a Dune movie. This is my confession. I don't know if I have the attention span to sit for one Dune movie, let alone 3 Dune movies.
Here's what I'll tell you, and I'll be honest with you. If you don't like Star Wars, you're not going to like Dune because, and Star Wars fans, block your ears at this point. Star Wars ripped off Dune. That's the honest to God truth. Dune is a book considered maybe the greatest sci-fi book ever written. And if you read it and look at Star Wars, same story.
Well, Star Wars was also a book.
I thought it was based on it. I think he stole it from Dune.
I think either way, like this
Star Wars has a comic book, but it came out after the movies.
I just don't know how you get invested either way because like to me, Timothy had like Marty Supreme did really well, 93%, but like A Complete Unknown, which again, I guess I'm not betting biopics again after freaking Michael. Yeah.
All right, hang on. We have to stop because let me get this through everybody's head right now. It's not biopic. It's a biopic. Please, people.
Okay,
I'm begging. I'm begging. No, because no. Because Jake says it and you say it and everyone I know says it and it's biopic and it drives me crazy.
Biopic just makes so much more sense because it's like a biopic.
It's a biography picture.
Yeah, exactly.
I get that, but I mean, he like the thing is like Timmy takes swings. He takes swings, right? Wonka. I don't know if that was the best swing, 82%, and he still made that work. But yeah, it's too close of a line for me. I think it's the perfect line, and the issue again, like I'm just not paying that amount of juice. I don't think. A minus 149. I'm good. I'm good on that. It's a no bet here. Steve, do you have a bet?
I'm probably taking the under. I'll put a half a unit down. Small risk, high reward. This is a very hard line to hit. 90 is incredibly difficult.
So you're doing under 90. Are you doing
under 90? Under 90
85?
Gives me under 85. You get plus 351. Oh no, I'm sorry. You get plus 207. Plus 105. Under 90. Plus 207.
Just not enough. There's just not enough money here for me, honestly. Like again, if we're trying to be sharp bettors, and funny enough though, the Kalshi forecast again 91.4%. But yeah, I just don't think like if you want to fade this into oblivion and try to go below like an 80%, I think that's maybe your play. But I just don't. Or you just take what Steve said and bet the under. I think that might be the.
I'm probably gonna just straight under. I just don't think it's gonna really hold. I don't.
Fair. Absolutely.
And I think it'll come in at like 88. That's where I have it probably projecting. Trashy, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing no bet, but I think that 88 kind of feels like where it will. Because I think especially closing out the trilogy, it's going to be a little higher than, the lowest score, but it's not knocking it out. Yeah.
All right. Y'all ready for the last one? The second part of the Doomsday double feature day. Avengers Doomsday over under 85%. That is the lowest of all the blockbusters we've talked about so far. If you bet the over, it is minus 108. If you bet the under, it's minus 121. If you opt it to 80, drops to minus 183 for the over, plus 145 for the under. I wouldn't recommend doing the under 80 on this movie. Let me say this. I think we are going to talk about Doomsday in a very similar way that Marvel fans talk about Infinity War. I think this is going to be, I don't think people are ready for what Doomsday is going to be. And I'm going to say this now because this is what I believe it's going to be, a hard reset of the MCU. They're bringing back a lot of OG characters, even back from the early 2000s. And I think this is going to be a bloodbath. I think this is going to be a way for them to be like, we need to reboot. There's not a good way to do that without resetting the entire thing. And I think we're going to see something shocking. And I think that's going to bump this number up even higher to where I would expect this to fall into the 90s.
I can kind of see that. Yeah.
Trash. Why do you see it? What are you seeing?
Yeah. Endgame got into, that was 94, the Avengers 91. So that's kind of like, I think the frame of reference of like the kicking off of this big franchise, the end of the big franchise in that story arc. And I do think you're right in that it's going to kind of like get the gang back together in a way that does like really bring forth this next phase. I think especially like I've been a little slacking about keeping up with Marvel lately since like the Infinity Saga ended, and I think something like this can like fully draw me back in. I'm like I need to watch all the movies leading up to this to prep for it, kind of. And I think that's a sign of like they're getting the franchise back on track. I think I'm smashing the over on this fully.
I will say this, that there has been chatter. So it came out that they let some people watch the first 20 minutes or 15 minutes or something. And people said that they're like, this might be one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life. It's so good.
It's a bold statement about a Marvel movie, but
15 minutes in too. You're still
but
gonna
they're saying that that's like the feeling you're getting, that it's like this is so beyond what you're expecting, that they put more work. I mean, they brought the Russos back, right? So they did Infinity War, they did Civil War, they did Endgame.
Yeah.
So they've got it. They know how to do this. And I think all three of those, maybe Infinity War fell below 90, but I think the other two went above. 85 feels almost like a lock.
It does. Does it not? I feel like it's a very, especially at minus 108, it feels like a very fair number where you could even get, we could even start talking about, hey, do you tease this up to 90? Because I mean, you're dead on there, Steve, with the numbers that these last Joe Russo and his brother movies have put out, right? Endgame 94%, Infinity War 86%, 85%. I think Trash gave those out, and just like in general, like Marvel's been swinging a pretty good bat still, I'd say, right? Like it hasn't been insanely productive, but like Fantastic Four 86%. I think that movie was kind of dog shit, honestly, and it still got an 86%. Thunderbolts, which was awesome, 88%. Captain America, that one kind of shit the bed. So like in 2024, not the best. Deadpool and Wolverine, depends what you think about that movie. I didn't think that was the best. It came in at 77%. So, they have had some misses here, but like at the same time, like the Avengers don't miss. The Avengers titles do not miss. So
no, they don't.
And like I can understand about people being upset about kind of the end of Infinity War, right? Like I can understand why people would maybe be a little perturbed with kind of how that movie turned out. But yeah, I'm here for the over. I think it's going to be very highly anticipated. I think like it's going to be hard to let that down unless they kill like each and every one. And like, I guess, Steve, the question I have for you, does Robert Downey playing this new role, same franchise, hurt or help this movie?
I think it's going to help. I liked it. Even at the start, I'm like, this is great. Now, we are learning that this is very much an Iron Man variant. This is a Tony Stark who became Doom. This is not like he's playing like, oh, he happens to look alike. This is a variant of Tony Stark that something happened. We're not sure what yet. And he became Dr. Doom. And it seems like he's rounding up children of supers.
Yes. Yep.
That is inherently a very like visceral reaction that we're going to have to that, right? We're seeing a beloved character returning evil and then going after children. It's going to evoke emotion. I think it's going to be really strong.
Fair.
Yeah. I feel like if it was more of like you're saying, the Robert Downey Jr. coming back who just happens to look like, you kind of lose the fans. But I think the way that they're doing it is pretty smart, because I was a little skeptical at first, but I think by it being a variant, it brings a lot of intrigue. Like, I want to see how it's all going to play out. I want to know.
I've even heard he's doing an accent.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be like snarky Tony Stark. I think this is going to be really interesting and really dark. So,
what kind of accent though?
Latvian, which is not real, but it's supposed to be some sort of Eastern European-ish accent, somewhere along the lines of Russia and Ukrainian. So I believe that's what's going to be going on. One other thing I believe in is Popcorn and Root Beer as a channel and IBT as a whole. So please, if you've enjoyed this video, our betting content, please like, subscribe, and share. If you like our movie reviews, like, subscribe, and share, and hit that little bell so you don't miss a single video on YouTube, because we are always coming to you with new, improved ways to make you money or show you movies that maybe we think you should have seen. Whether it's short form, long form, we have it all right here on Popcorn and Root Beer. And if you want more of us, you can go from a background extra to part of the main cast by joining the IBT Entertainment family. The IBT Entertainment family is free to join. You will get access to our analysts and memorabilia giveaways for no cost. But if you want to upgrade and get access to our full betting cards, the betting model, all of our contests, you can upgrade for $3.99 a month or $36 for the full year. That gives you access to all the other IBT Entertainment families. That would be the football family, the racing family, and the golf family. So please, 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 come be a part of it. Come be part of the discussion. We want to hear from you. But until then, until we see you in the family or on the next video, for myself, for Seth Woolcock, and Trash Sandwiches, that's a wrap.